You holding on to these things, you are also not going anywhere. Now, I'm not much of a swimmer. Okay, I'm not much of a swimmer. I don't swim. Um, I remember my mother, she used to give me swimming lessons, which I thought was very redundant because she didn't want me to go into the pools. Go figure. She would give me lessons. She would tell me to go to the YMCA. She signed me up for classes to go swimming, and I was so excited because I thought to myself that I will be able to go swimming and learn how to swim. I said to myself that if I learn how to swim, then when I go back to St. Martin to visit my cousins, we could all go to the beach and I could show them what kind of a swimmer that I am. I could show them that I am a great swimmer and I can swim just as good as them. So I said to myself, yeah, why not? It's a no-brainer to me that I'll be able to learn how to swim and I'll be able to do great at swimming. It's a no-brainer to me. So I started taking swimming lessons. But my mother used to always say, you can only go in the shallow end of the pool and you can only go swimming when there is a lifeguard. I said, well, Mom, there's always going to be lifeguards there. There's a teacher there. And my teacher knows how to swim. So, Mom, I'm going to be all right. I will be okay. As I continued to swim and as I continued to learn how to swim, there was moments where I was very embarrassed. There was moments where I couldn't swim. There was moments where people laughed at me because of got so mad because of the fact that the kids that were there with me were laughing at me, and even some of the people that was there as volunteers, those summer camp people, they were laughing at me too because I look weird. I look weird swimming. I had a very interesting way of swimming. I had a very interesting clothing on. I had a Speedo, and they thought it was hilarious for me to have a Speedo at such a young age. But I said to myself, wait a minute, there were other kids there with Speedos. Why was my situation so different? But because of all of those things, it just got me to the point where I didn't want to even swim anymore. I didn't even want to look at a pool for a long time. I didn't care so much for the swimming lessons. I told my mother the next day when I got home, well, the same day when I got home, Mom, I never want to go swimming again. She said, what happened? I don't want to talk about it, Mom. I just don't want to go swimming again. I jumped in the pool and I made up a whole story. I jumped in the pool and I sank to the bottom and it took them a while to get me back up. So no, I don't want to go boat. I don't want to go swimming no more. I'm done. And for a long time, I was carrying that baggage with me. That every time I jumped in a pool, every time I wanted to go swimming, I ended up remembering that instance when I was being made fun of. So I tried my best to try to hide that whenever I went swimming. That's why I started lifting weights. That's why I started to work on my body because I wanted to take away from the stress. I wanted to make sure that when I do go into a pool, nobody can say anything and nobody can laugh at me because, I don't have a interesting look to me. See, but those are some of the things that I've carried for quite some time. Those are the baggages that I wanted to carry with me because now every time I go to a pool, I don't necessarily have that thought nor that feeling anymore because I've changed. I've taken away that type of baggage in my life. I didn't want that baggage to define me anymore. So I had to let that go. But sometimes when we are swimming, we are carrying baggages, and by before we know it, it's like we're tying an anchor onto our leg and jumping directly into the pool. You have no direction to go but down. You have no direction to go but down. And if you are going down, then there's no way for you to come back up. And if there is no way for you to come back up, Metamorphosis, what's up? One up, how you doing? If there is no way for you to come back up, then what was the whole point of you going down in the first place? Because you're still holding on to baggages. The Bible says here in Proverbs 4, verse 25, it says, let your eyes look directly forward and your gaze be straight before you. See, the Bible is trying to encourage you that instead of you looking back at the things that you used to carry, at the things that used to bother you, you need to let it go all together. You need to look forward instead of going backwards, because there's nothing behind there for you. There's nothing in the past for you. There's nothing that you can gain from focusing on the past. The past is the past, and it has passed. That's something I used to always tell myself. The past is the past, therefore let it pass. See, there was nothing that I could really do to change that. There was nothing I could do to make that different. There was nothing I could really do to switch that up, because at the end of the day, there was nothing that I could do. Brianna, how you doing? To me, it was a wrap. So why bother go backwards in time when I'm not going to gain anything by going backwards in time? All I'm doing is adding more baggages to my load, because I'm sitting there carrying things that I should have gotten rid of a long time ago. I gave the example a couple of times of carrying a book bag. Baggage in your life is like carrying a book bag. Within that book bag, you have different contents. You have different contents inside of that book bag. That book bag is filled with different things. You have different items that you currently need. Certain baggages you do need. Certain items within that bag you do need, but there are certain items that you don't need. And how we spoke about, by you letting go of certain baggages, you don't really let go of them because you believe that they are a part of you. And you can't let it go because they belong to you. They will make up who you are. Makes sense, I believe. See, but that's why we are told that we should always look forward. Some baggages can stop you from going far. Some baggages can stop you from going forward, from going to a direction that is only leading you to a new location. See, when you are stuck with so much baggages, yeah, you're going to be moving towards the forward location, but you're going to be moving really slow. And you're going to be worried about everything that's in that bag. You don't want nothing to fall out of that bag, and you'll be always struggling. See, there was a guy that me and my boys used to always see walk around. See, me and my friends, when we were, 18 and 17, 18 years old, we used to always walk around. After school, we would literally have our book bags and we would walk around town. We would always go to the same spots. We would go to the same clothes spot, see if we could buy some clothes. We would always go to the same music spots, see if we could get some new mixtapes. We used to always walk around the entire town before we got to our respective homes. I remember we used to go down to the corner store as well. We used to get like, little snacks and stuff like that. That was our day-to-day routine. It was cool. It was fun. And there was a guy that we always used to notice all the time. We called him Bagman. Now, the reason why we call him Bagman is for the same reasons why his name is Bagman. This man had a lot of bags. And if you look at him, he reminded us, if you ever seen that movie, Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, he looked just like Will Smith in that movie. The Jerry curl, the mustache, the goatee and everything like that. He looked just like that character. Some of the saddest moments from that movie, it looked like that man actually experienced. Because he always had a shirt and tie. He had a tan jacket. Didn't matter what the weather was, that tan jacket was always on him. And he had a lot of bags in his hand. And I used to always say to myself, this guy has too much bags in his hand. Why can't he just get like a shopping cart and put all his bags in the shopping cart and then go about his business? Why couldn't he just do that? Wouldn't that be easier for him? Wouldn't that be easy if he did that? That's why I used to always say to myself, why on earth is this man carrying this baggage that he shouldn't be carrying, things that he shouldn't even be walking around with? This baggage is too heavy for him. Yet still, he was always walking with a purpose and he was always going to a location. But the problem was every time he was walking and that bag started to look a little funny and the items start to shift a little bit in the bags, he had to stop and reshuffle the bags a little bit, reshuffle the items in the bags, take some items out of one bag, putting into another bag. And then once he sees that all the bags were secure, he would pick the bags back up and he would go walking again. And I used to always sit and look at him. And I used to always talk to my friends. You know, sometimes we used to make fun of him, which was bad. I admit that. We were kids. But we always used to look at the situation and say, man, some people have it rough out here. Some people have it hard. Some people, they don't even have a place to put their baggage down. They have to carry their baggage everywhere they go. The question for you this morning is, are you that type of person that you can't physically put down the baggages that you have been carrying around for quite some time? You can't even let go of the baggage. You can't put down the baggage. And as a result of you not being able to put down the baggage, you have to hold on to everything. Hold on to baggage is rough. It's hard. And it seems like it really doesn't matter what you do to let go of the baggage. You still can't let it go. I have a few verses for you to help you let this go. I have a few verses that's going to assist you in this process. The Bible says in John 5, verse 8, John 5, verse 8, Jesus said to him, get up, take up your bed, and walk. Jesus didn't say take up your baggage and walk. He said take up your bed. Back in the day, your bed was like your home. That was like your baggage back in the day. But God is saying for you, Christ is saying for you to get up, take up your bed, and walk. In other words, take up the things that have been weighing you down. Take up the things that have been holding you back and walk. Let it go. Leave it where it is. Another verse to consider is Philippians 3, verse 13. Morning, Sassy. How you doing? It says, brother, do not consider that I have made it my own. But one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead. I press towards the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus. You see here in Philippians, we are looking forward. We should be looking forward. We should be focused forward. We should be eyeing forward. Be happy, no worries. Blessings. How you doing? Our minds should be looking towards the goal. Our minds should be looking towards the prize. We shouldn't be focused on the things that we used to do, focus on the things that used to be. Those things are gone. Those things are dead. Like I remember When I was younger, I used to look at the calendar. Calendar has 31 days, right? I used to say to myself, man, when I turn 32, it's a wrap. I'm off the calendar. I'm old. And I did everything I can to try to hold on to being on the calendar. I was trying to do everything I can to hold on to it. But then the day came and the day is coming and I'm saying to myself, man, I'm going to be off the calendar. And I started to deliberate on things that I used to do. I used to deliberate on my past experiences. I used to deliberate on the things that I used to think about, the things I used to worry about, the things I used to consider. Thank you, Sassy. I appreciate you. I remember sitting there focusing on the things that clearly wasn't helping me. It wasn't helping me to focus on the things that I used to do. It wasn't helping me focus on the things that I used to be, the person that I used to be. None of those things mattered. None of those things were important because at the end of the day, I can only look forward. I can't look backwards. I can't relive my past. If I could go back in time and make a couple of changes, yeah, sure, I would have definitely did that. But guess what? By me making some of those changes before, it would change who I am today. It would change my experiences. I wouldn't be able to talk about all of these experiences that I've had in my life. I've had a short life, but I've had many different experiences. I would never be able to talk about being held up inside of a bus before. I would never be able to talk about going to a college and dealing with a college that took everything from me as opposed to me getting everything out of it. I wouldn't be able to talk about what happened to me. Hey, how you doing, Yolanda? Miss Taylor. How you doing, Miss Taylor? Good to see you. Kind of threw me off, but good to see you nonetheless. I wouldn't be able to talk about when I used to when I used to run the streets with my boys. I wouldn't be able to talk about when I used to stay out 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't be able to talk about the car accidents I've been in with my friends. I wouldn't be able to talk about these different experiences if I was able to go back in time and change certain things. See, your experiences makes you who you are, but you don't have to carry those same baggages to be reminded of who you were. That's why baggage is supposed to stay home unless you're traveling. And even when you're traveling, you shouldn't be carrying so much baggage. Lighten your load. That's why this verse right here is so important. That's why this verse right here is so impactful, because at the end of the day, it's all about what you focus on. And if you're focusing on the past and the things of your past, if you're focused on the things that you once had and once did, then you will never be able to look forward because you're constantly looking backwards. You will never be able to stress forward because you're always stressing on the things that are backwards. You will never be able to see what's forward because you're always looking behind you. You ever heard of the story of Lot's wife? Lot's wife, Lot and his family was leaving Sodom and Gomorrah because Sodom and Gomorrah was filled as it was a place of pure, demonized hatred and sinful behavior. God decided to destroy the entire place with brimstone. He sent his angels ahead to do the job and to do the work and to see who was there in Sodom and Gomorrah worth saving. Lot's family was worth saving. They told Lot to take your family and go out of the city because we're about to destroy this place. So as they are walking out of the city, as they are moving out of the city, Money, how you doing, bro? Good to see you, bro. As they are moving out of the city, as they are going out of the city and going forward, Lot's wife starts to think about all the things she's leaving behind back in Sodom and Gomorrah. She's thinking about her life that she used to have back in Sodom and Gomorrah. She's thinking about all the experiences that she had back in Sodom and Gomorrah. She's thinking about all the different things, all the different people that she once knew. She's thinking about all the different things that she once had. She's thinking about all the things that she used to do. She's thinking about all the baggages that she used to have. And before she says to herself, I am so thrilled and I am so happy that I am able to leave and get out of this situation and start a new situation, I'm more focused on what I'm leaving behind. And as a result of me focusing on what I'm leaving behind, I am now tempted to turn around and to get one last look of what I used to know. As a result, she turned into a pillar of salt as soon as she turned around. As soon as she turned around to look at the baggage, as soon as she turned around to look at her past, she turned into a pillar of salt. Lot could do nothing about the situation. Lot was powerless in that situation. There's no emptier feeling than to feel powerless to save someone else. And in Lot's case, that's how he felt. He felt powerless. He couldn't do nothing. There are moments in our life where we do feel powerless. We feel like we don't have what it takes anymore. We feel like we don't have anything anymore. It's done. Perhaps we learn from our experiences. Perhaps we learn from hardships. It's never easy. It's never easy learning from our experiences. It's never easy learning from the things that we deal with. It's never easy. But it is something that we have to do. It is something that we have to encourage ourselves with. It is something that we have to look at. I implore you to continue to look forward in life. Continue to press forward. Remember that in your heart of hearts, that the Lord will continue to bless you and keep you. But you got to look forward and leave your baggage behind. Let's do our roll call. It's Taylor. Always good to see you. Lynn, my cousin, good to see you. My brother, Matt, blessings, good to see you. Maritza, good to see you, my sister. Sister Gibson, good to see you. Sister Nelly, good to see you. Lord Marisol, good to see you. Money, good to see you, bro. Appreciate you. Chadmick, good to see you. One Up, good to see you. Sassy, good to see you this morning. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate it. Brianna, good to see you this morning. Metamorphosis, good to see you this morning. Bella Bay Savage, blessings. Good to see you. Let's pray. Lord God in heaven, we just want to lift you up and thank you, Lord, for giving us this time, this moment. Help us, Lord, to continue to look forward, dear Father, not look back. Help us to leave the baggages that we once carried in the past, dear Father God, and not try to go in the past to get that baggage. Help us to let that baggage die. Help us to see you and move forward towards you. Continue to bless us and keep us, Lord. Elevate us and lift us up. Lord God, you are worthy of all praise. And I thank you, Lord, for all that you've done, all that you continue to do. Lord, we love you. We thank you in Christ's name. Amen. Amen. All right, folks. Once again, I just want to thank you all for joining this morning. Atkins, good to see you. You guys have a great day. Have a blessed day. Have a strong day. See you guys on the next broadcast. Tomorrow morning, bright and early. Take care, y'all.